Okay, what does that mean? Answer, I don't know. Question, okay, so you were having a conversation and you didn't understand the response?
Here we go. Here we
Answer,
go. We
I
got the
don't know what
verdict
TF
watch.
means.
YNW
Question,
Melly, day 18. We're just gonna be on here for a little bit, just watching to see if the verdict comes up today. If not, we're gonna be jumping back and forth between several different cases, and we're gonna see what the hell's going on in the world. This is the Moe You Know. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Man, let's just see what the hell the world has for us today.
see that? Answer, yes, I see it. Question, okay, so State had mentioned that you got arrested recently and charged criminally, correct? Answer, correct. Question, and on May 30th, not too long ago of this year? Answer, yeah. Question, and one of the charges that was made against you was obstruction of the service of the execution of a search warrant. You're aware of that? Answer, I am now. Question, pardon me? Answer, I am now. Question, so you got charged and you had no idea what you were charged with? Answer, correct. And you are now on pretrial release? Answer, I bonded out, sir. Question, okay. And while you're out on bond, you are of the opinion that if you don't come here, answer, I'll be in jail. That's the only reason.
So right now, what they have the
The
clerk
court, excuse
reading
me. What
back
happens is when they
what
make
was going
objection,
on
you
in the
wait
court.
before you
They're basically just
answer.
going over everything that
Objection overruled.
the
The
jury
witness.
thinks that they need to
Got
hear
you.
again so they
Got
can
you.
go ahead and make the right decision. They're just getting it all back. This is
Just
all
one
the
second.
transcripts of the court case. The jury just wants to confirm a few things,
I'm gonna
so they'll
reread
bring them
that
back
question.
into the court. She'll read off what
Okay,
happened
and while you
just
were
so they can go
out
back and
on
refresh
bond,
their memory
you
on
are
it.
of the opinion that if you
And
don't
then
come
whenever they
here,
get done with
I'll
this,
be in
they'll
jail.
send them
Ms.
to
Smith,
recess,
objection,
send the
Your
jury
Honor,
back
relevance.
to go
The
do their
witness, that's the only
deliberate.
reason. The court, excuse me. What happens is when they make objections, just wait before you answer. Objection noted, it's overruled, proceed. The witness, got you. By Mr. Howard, question. You're of the impression if you don't come here and sit in the chair and testify, you're gonna go to jail. Answer, correct. Question. Okay, there are several instances in which Ms. Smith, prosecutor, that questioned you, showed you a statement that you previously gave. Remember that? Answer, yes. And you told us you remember seeing me in the deposition not too long ago. Answer, I said what? Question, you remember
Good
seeing
thing
me
about
last week on
this
Friday?
right here is basically a
Answer,
recap of the
yeah,
whole
I
trial.
remember.
Wherever the jury thinks that there's
Question,
some
and you
issues,
recall at the time that your
some
statement to the
discrepancies,
detective was
they'll
a
have
few
the clerk
days
go back
after
and
the
read it for
incident.
them. Because think about
Answer,
it, it's day
you say,
18.
do I recall? Question, that's what your recollection was at the time. Answer,
It's day
yes.
18. You're not going to remember everything
Question,
from
a
day
couple of
one,
days
day two.
after. Answer, a couple days after. Question, and now after seeing the statement, you realize that it was 4 months later, right? Answer, you say what? You said what? Question, the statement you gave to police. Answer, you're telling me it was 4 months, or asking me. Question, pardon me? Answer, are you telling me or asking me? Question, I'm asking you. Answer, that don't make sense. If you asking me, I told you it was there. It was 3 to 4 days after they died. Why are you asking me if it was 4 months if I just told you? Question, okay. So in the statement that you gave to police back then, you claimed that you had gone into the red vehicle in the
What
rear
up,
seat,
Tamika?
right? Answer,
Like I was saying, right now, Tamika, and anybody else that joined, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button. But the clerk is just going over some of the transcripts from court on other days because the jury, they're like, wait a minute, can you bring up the testimony of this witness, this expert here, just to refresh their memory so they can go back there and deliberate and try to get this verdict. I know they're not trying to go into the weekend with this because right now they got to stay in hotels. They didn't get to go home. They basically on lockdown until they get this verdict. So right now they like, clerk, can you come out? What did witness number 17 say? Okay. It look like this nigga guilty. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I don't have no dog in this fight. I'm just gonna tell y'all, I think the brother's guilty. I mean, I don't have any reasonable doubt to say that he isn't.
Let me reread that question. And you learned that the statement
Yeah, Torian. So I started watching Bird Box last night. I think it's Bird Box. Bird Box Barcelona. I'm gonna watch They Clone Tyrone later, and we're gonna do a recap of that on Sunday.
okay, yeah. Question, you forgot where you sat in the vehicle a few days after? You can answer. Answer what? Question, that question. Is that correct, sir? Answer, did I forget? Question, did you forget? Answer, I could have made a mistake and said I was in the back and remembered that I was in the front. Question.
Yeah,
So when
that
you
never
told the
looked
law
uniform,
enforcement
to be honest.
officers that you had gone into the back of the vehicle a few days after the
In my
incident?
opinion, Liz,
Answer, that's what I thought to the best of my knowledge.
I think
Question,
he's guilty.
that's what you thought?
There's no
Okay.
way I can. They showed him get in the back seat. They said, "Old boy got hit in the back of the head coming from the back seat." The guy in the back passenger seat got hit from inside the vehicle. There's no getting around this, in my opinion. And I know if there's any doubt, but to me personally, I don't have any doubt that he did it. I have doubt that he didn't do it. This YNW Melly, true. So this is gonna take forever. I think this is just a replay because the time is stuck on 4 hours and 57 minutes. I think they just replaying what they did before the recess. But the judge said it should be a short recess. Then they will come in. The clerk got to get some water because she's reading pages and pages and pages of testimony. Yeah, they not talking. I got it muted right now because I was doing a little bit of talking. But basically, this is the friend that got in the red vehicle and said he seen YNW Melly at Fredo Bang's house later on that night. He changed his clothes. He said YNW Melly when they got there, all he had on was shorts. He didn't have on what he had when he left the studio and when he was on the surveillance camera. But they just basically trying to connect it. If the guy driving Bortlen changed his clothes to go to the hospital and drop off the victims, why did YNW Melly get out the vehicle? Why did he change his clothes? I mean, I tell you one thing, I know the jury ain't trying to go into the weekend with this. They're gonna probably be like, "Hey, what y'all thinking?" You know my head's going up. I vote the nigga guilty. I ain't gonna lie to you. From what I heard, he guilty. I'll let you guys hear this. I mean, I think this is from like day 13 when he testified.
Answer, yeah. Question, and when's that? Answer, when I smoke. Question, and when would that be? Answer, when I smoke. Question, how many times a day? Answer, twice, 3 times maybe. Question, and on the ninth question, before you got to the studio, on the day in question, you had smoked at least 2 joints, right? Answer, that's your guess. Question, that's what you said, right? Answer, I don't recall. Question, okay. And when you got to the studio, you were smoking, correct? Answer, possibly. Question, were you or weren't you? Answer, that was 5 years ago. Question, you forgot? Answer, I don't recall. Question, and you were drinking Hennessy, I believe, or do you not recall that either?
We were drinking
Answer,
Remy.
it's possible. Question, possible, but you don't recall. Answer, I don't. Question, okay, so you don't recall much from that night then, do you? Right? Fair? Answer, right. Question, and when you got in the red vehicle and left,
Yeah, hey, we're gonna be jumping back and forth. This trial right here, like I said, they on recess. Once they bring it back, there's actually another trial going on right now. Well, I think it's a sentencing from a school shooter. Hold on real quick. I just seen it earlier today. Yeah, Timberview High School shooting. Let me see something. Now, I didn't know much. I ain't know much about this case, but this happened in 2021. He's already been found guilty, so they trying to do the sentencing on him. But they showing the text message where he was basically saying, "Man, they gonna move me around if anything happens." You wouldn't believe how many trials are going on in in America. Well, hell, let alone around the world. But they got all your text messages, they got all your emails, they know everywhere you been. You're not getting away with any crimes, not in this modern era. Like that message right there, what? Fuck that fight. Shot straight, slaying iron. Like, come on, man. These niggas are sending these kind of
Going
emails
back
to each
to
other.
search, internet search, looking at it, 162. What is that search and what's the date and time?
The trial I'm looking forward
Date
to is
time
the
is
cops who
September
killed
30th,
Tyree Nichols.
2021
Yeah, that's gonna be
at
interesting.
9:24:30 a.m. The search says, if you at school and someone tries to fight you and you shoot them, how much time will you get?
He Googled this September 30th. If you shoot somebody, I mean, if you at school and someone tries to fight you and you shoot them, how much time will you get? The dude was Googling this. The
And item number one, what's the search? The search is if you shoot at school and someone tries to fight you and you shoot them, how much time will you get? Same date, same time.
hold on real quick. Let me see something. What up, Candy?
Thank you. Let the record reflect the jury stepped out. Counsel remain on defendant. Counsel, I have another question that the jury posed when they came in to read back. And the question reads, what is the conversion to 1 meter equals how many feet?
3 feet 3 inches.
Rely upon the testimony. We rely upon the testimony.
Everybody agrees?
Yes, sir.
Can I do that just in writing here? Is that all right with everybody?
That's fine. Oh. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I think you should say you must rely upon the testimony.
That's what I started to write.
I'm sorry.
Jury duty where I was actually selected as a juror. I did.
What did you just say?
The trial was like something about a
You must rely upon.
it was like a malpractice. I was trying to get on that. I ain't gonna lie.
Steve, all right?
That's fine, right?
There are foods here, so we're gonna utilize this kind of lunch.
You hear that?
Lunch,
Lunch.
when should we be back?
You tell me, I mean, where you going? You buying?
Yes. The 30-minute window thing is out the window.
No, I mean, take 30 minutes, that's fine. Just be available.
Yes, sir. You have our numbers.
All right, thank you, with you, Madam Secretary.
That's right.
All right, so we need you employee.
What?
All right?
1 o'clock?
Thank you.
They need to be back in here.
We're recess.
Let's see what this damn shooter's doing because he done Googled some shit.
Okay, all these searches, it seems like you're searching the same thing over and over again. But when a person is on their phone and they do a search, are you aware that sometimes it predicts what you might be trying to search?
Yes,
And if a person just clicks one of those predictive questions, would that show up as an actual search?
yes,
And so some of those searches said something like shooting today, right?
correct.
Could that have been, if I started typing something and then it predicted it, tacked on that today, could that have happened? And then I clicked that one?
It could have, yes.
Man, these criminals be making their lawyer jobs hard as hell. Hell no, you didn't accidentally click on the wrong thing. They always trying to disprove a text message or a web search.
That wouldn't be necessarily what the person was trying to search.
I just know what they searched.
Yeah, I can't tell you what he was searching. I can tell you what he
There
searched.
was a number that was kind of going back and forth. It was saying one thing and then another and back to the same thing. Could that happen if I search something on my phone and I clicked on an article or something and I pressed the back arrow? Would it go back to what that search was before?
It wouldn't show up as another search.
Okay. And similarly, if I pressed the forward arrow and it went to whatever I clicked on, you're saying that wouldn't show up as a search either?
For it to show up as a search, you would have to go back to the search screen and hit the send button again. If you just went back and viewed the prior screen, it would not show up as another search.
How would that show up?
It would just show up as a web history.
I'm sorry.
It would show up in the web history of the phone.
So it wouldn't be, that's good to know. It's not a search. It'd just be in the web history. So, you know, when you go up at the top, click the little dots, go into your history, that's all it'll pop up. But when you going in there and you trying to extract all that data, the search is going to be
that's
different
right here, would you
than
expect
web
the
history.
person who's scared that they may get attacked would look for ways to defend themselves?
Objection, speculation, seems facts not evidence.
What was your question?
So let me get back to it. The last search that's shown up here on the screen, if a person is scared that someone may be coming back to attack them, would you expect them to look for ways to defend themselves?
And the objection was to speculation.
Speculation seems facts not evidence.
I thought this was sentencing. Why we got the experts up here going over?
I'm sorry, that's what this okay.
All right, hold on.
This side of our comment by defense counsel.
It's all right. So I'll sustain the objection as to speculation.
Well, I guess they trying to see if it's premeditated. Oh man, if they find out that, man. Well, we're hearing right now he searched for this. Now his lawyer is trying to say that he accidentally clicked on it and pressed the back button. But this digital forensic,
These
he don't give a damn.
searches are all inclusive from September 26th through September 30th, right?
I believe those are the dates.
26th to the 30th, 4 days.
Similar to this, or searches similar to this on Mr. Simpkins' phone?
I don't recall outside the purview of those dates.
Yeah, whoever I don't even
That
remember
Mr.
this. What's his
Simpkins,
name?
taught a class or
Timberview High
something
School
that may
shooting. Let me
have
look
been
up his name
connected
again.
in some kind of way to this, racetrack.
I was not aware of that.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Redirect?
If I may, this council asked you a question about predictive searches.
Yes.
All right. Is it,
Let's go ahead and pick up that phone.
Pick up that phone. So it's saying his name is Timothy Simpkins, was found guilty
searches we saw
of
hereabouts
attempted
include
capital
basic
murder in
detail?
Timberview High School shooting. So I
Is
guess
that
this is in
predictive
Dallas.
search, or is that something that sounds very particular that you're looking for?
It sounds very specific.
Looking for a shootout, a shooting or shootout at the racetrack. Does that sound, in Arlington, Texas, does that sound like a predictive search or something very specific?
Something specific.
All right. This council asked you about someone going to protect themselves, getting a gun to protect themselves. Call that?
Yes.
If you're a victim of robbery, you might want to get a gun to protect yourself. Call that question?
Yes.
And going through these text messages, does it sound like he's wanting to protect himself or he's wanting to shoot somebody?
It does not sound like he wants to protect himself.
Damn. I'm gonna give y'all the backstory after this.
Looking at this particular text message, what's it say he wants to do?
It says, we gotta shoot first, let them niggas know.
Whoa, mister.
Retaliation.
Yes.
We gotta shoot first, let them niggas know. He said that, hey, he said that cool
Message right
too.
before that is what?
Get them before they get us.
He could have said N-word, but he wanted to say nigga so the people know, like, hey, he wasn't bullshitting.
Message before that.
They not gonna move smart. Trust me, on site, knock them off.
Damn, this nigga sending text messages.
And even looking at 928, don't shoot at school unless they do something first.
Correct.
And 2 days later, he's looking at how much time he's going to get.
That's correct.
Ask witnesses.
Recross.
Yes, Your Honor. Did your investigation, lead you to believe that any of what was talked about in those text messages actually happened?
I'm sorry, specifically to what?
You just went through a number of text messages.
Yes.
Get them before they get us. Something on site. The rest of what the messages said.
As far as I know, no.
So real quick, so what it says is Simpkins, I don't know how you pronounce this kid's name. Simpkins was accused of wounding 3 people in the shooting at Mansfield ISD Timberview High School in 2021 after a fight in the classroom. Now, what they're telling us is he's been Googling how much time will he get for shooting somebody. Remember, the search said if someone beats you up at school, how much time would you get for shooting them? Well, the story, it says there was a video recorded by a student showing Simpkins being beat up. So it looks like he let himself get beat up just so he could shoot him. After the fight, he pulled a gun from his waistband and started shooting, critically injuring Shelby, a teacher, and a student. Damn, bro. And then we got searches of how long will he get for shooting somebody after you get beat up. Damn. So they recorded a video of him getting beaten up. So he thought it was going to be like a self-defense. I let him beat me up and then I can shoot him. Oh my goodness. These kids. That's wild. They also said, do we think he was trying to kill Zach? Absolutely. Absolutely. It wasn't enough to just shoot him one time in the classroom. He was hunting them down like a wounded animal who was crawling, and that wasn't enough for him, said the prosecutors. You saw the video that it was as cold-blooded as it can get. He knew that there were other people in the classroom. It didn't matter. He knew that people were running for their lives. It didn't matter because he continued to use the weapon. So people running away. I guess the guy got shot. He's crawling out the room. He goes in the hall and shoots him again.
Itself showing Zach as he enters the stairwell, actually before he enters the stairwell, but as he enters the stairwell, he's laying there in empty street. Is that correct? Yes. And I'm going to show you states 156 flash drive containing that video from the stairwell. Is that right? Yes, sir. Very accurate depicts what occurred within it. I believe so, sir. Video capable of making an accurate report. Yes. We see in there those things that we know occurred. For example, EMT Ryan King treating him. Is that correct? Yes. We see the first man police officer get there. Yes. We know all those things occurred, but all the pictures not video. Yes. Says Washington State 156.
I don't even know who this gentleman is.
After inspection. I'm sorry?
I'm gonna go watch that video. Of course, I'm not gonna play it on here, but I want to see what it looked like. See what Timothy was in there doing.
All right, no objection to 156. I'll admit 156. Yeah, he'll need to move it to publish the video.
So they're trying to hit him with a capital murder. So they also said, well, of course, the defense is going to say they felt like he was overcharged because he didn't try to kill Shelby. But the prosecutor says Simpkins went to school prepared to kill and had a full magazine in his gun, a second full magazine with him. That's the difference between attempted and a capital murder. So they saying since he came up there with 2 magazines full of ammunition, they saying this was an attempted murder. Well, they trying to put it as a capital murder, not an attempt. So they about to show some footage of in the hallway. I guess the dude was pacing around.
I got it. You may proceed.
Detective, the individual that we see running right here is one of the students that left this office class. Yes.
It ain't no joke when them bullets start flying. You got to get low. My dog was skipping stairs on his way down. Oh, damn. If he comes and shoots him from here, bro, that's murder, bro. That's capital murder. I don't want no attempt. Damn. It's fucked up, man. I'll take that off the screen. You don't need to see no more of that. I'll let y'all know if he come out there. Damn, bro. The hell? Hey, man, that's my bad for even showing the beginning part. But yeah, they just got the whole thing on camera. It looked like he trying to call somebody. Yeah, man, they need to go ahead and get this Timothy dude life.
Watch this video. Does it appear that Zach pulled out his phone?
Yes, it does.
Appear that maybe he dialed a number and tried to talk to somebody.
Yes,
Do you know who he's trying to talk to?
I believe he's trying to contact his mother.
Damn, he tried to call his mom. They still just got the image of him in that hallway, so I'm not gonna bring it back up. He tried to call his mom. Ain't none of the school security, the teachers or nobody come up here. Like, damn. Man, there's no way you can watch that and not give him whatever the maximum penalty is. Whatever the maximum time is. Damn, were they playing it over?
Do you know if he was able to reach her?
No, I don't.
Damn. All right, the police arrive on scene now. But it looks like he's moving though.
First responder finally gets to him.
Yes,
And then we see people begin to show up and give him help.
yes.
Judge, pass the witness.
Hey man, they can take this off the screen, man.
Contamination.
Briefly, Detective, Weekly. You didn't see any board shots or anything being fired as he lay like this on the ground?
No, I did not.
You didn't see Tim go over and stand over his head?
Oh, so he was the first cop on the scene.
Anything else, right?
Yeah, from that angle, you could see Timothy in the hallway.
With respect to this particular case, your investigation put together some information that this could be tied to racetrack, correct?
Yes, it did.
And as a detective, for 2 years doing violent crimes, you check phones, social media, to try to put together a correlation of things that could have possibly prompt this, correct?
Yes, depending on the case, yes, ma'am.
Are you familiar with Isaiah Shelby?
Yes, I am.
During the course of your investigative judgment approach,
You know.
Man, he couldn't take an ass whooping. Now look at him, he about to be sitting in jail forever. Man, it's a messed up world, man. Cruel world.
Which one are you looking for?
the one that hadn't been in his
There you go.
Did you have an opportunity to come across this picture on social media?
That picture was forwarded to me from the social media site.
And was this done on or
What they said, let me hold on. I think they said Zach was 15.
after the racetrack? After he
No.
goes to the racetrack.
So the gentleman that was killed, yeah, he was 15 then, so he would be
Try to
17
answer the question.
this year.
She asked you yes or no. Please try to answer it that way, or you don't know.
I'm not sure.
Can you identify anybody in particular in this particular product?
Yes, sir.
Damn. Got his ass whooped and had to get a gun. But they've been planning this for a while. We seen text messages.
Who can you identify?
Objection, testifying from object not yet admitted. Court's right to sustain objection to the admission.
If he can identify the individuals in the photograph is the important part of a predicate. So he said that he could.
The individual on the left appears to be Isaiah Selby.
That is the older brother of Zach.
Yes.
Did you have a page?
And now they don't value no life. They don't value theirs. They don't value anybody.
Zach at the hospital at all?
Yes, I did.
Did Zach at some point come to your office?
No, he did not.
So everything was done at the hospital?
I visited with him at the hospital once or twice, and then I went to his home after he did release from the hospital.
So when you went to his home, did you see any physical limitations?
Yes.
What did you see?
Since he'd been released, he had a colostomy bag and was required to be in a wheelchair.
Today.
Oh, wait, hold on.
July 21st, 2021, he's not in a wheelchair or anything.
I don't believe he's in a wheelchair anymore.
All right, so he ain't in the wheelchair. I thought he died, but so they trying to give him capital murder, but they're trying to argue this that it was just an attempt because he's out the hospital. So no one died.
Is it customary to follow up? Is it customary to follow up with somebody that's been injured, to follow up to see what their current medical condition is now?
Typically, if the person calls me, then I will speak with them about it, but I didn't follow up any further with Zacchaeus after he was from the hospital.
And with respect to the racetrack, did that photo assist you in any way in identifying?
I'm gonna see what they talking about on Melly's because we know that this gentleman's guilty. We can read up the article. We just waiting on how much time they're gonna give him in this one. But I seen that this morning. I said, "Oh man, cause I remember the shooting, but I was like, what?"
That particular case at the racetrack had been closed, correct?
That I don't know. I know that it was assigned to
Damn.
a kid for investigation, and I'm not sure if he had.
Well, we know he's now basically looked at as an accessory after the fact, although I think he is also charged with the first-degree murder. It's almost
That's correct.
a felony
Yes.
murder analysis there because there were murders that took place while he was in the car. I don't think they're going to put the gun in his hand. So the biggest claim against him, and it relates to that hospital statement the jury was waffling about whether they wanted to see or not, is what part he might have played in any cover-up. If the drive-by shooting was just a cover-up, what did he have to do with that? I think his concern, if the jury, especially if they convict Melly, his concern is going to be as an accessory after the fact. If they acquit Melly, that may change the dynamic a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what, if any, other charges might be leveled against him. It'll be very interesting.
I'm going to take this next question because I can do it really quickly. So from YouTube, Team Pretty 20 asks, how much time is he looking at for manslaughter? If he is convicted of manslaughter, that lesser included offense, it's a maximum penalty of 15 years in prison. And then I believe something like a $10,000 fine. So we'll knock that one off the list. Nicalia Lancaster from YouTube, Mina, asks, what would be the reasoning for them wanting to hear Mr. Glass's testimony?
It was very crucial. I mean, this is where we found out that Melly was at Fredo's house after the alleged murder. This is where we found out that Melly had a change of clothes and he had shorts on.
Alina, say what?
Our first time hearing from someone that was actually there the day of the crime. He was in the studio they were all in. He could testify and speak to the fact that there was no conflict in the studio. That was actually a question that I had. What happened in the studio? Did anything happen in the studio that led to some kind of conflict that could have resulted in these two young gentlemen being murdered? I wanted to know that, and he provided those answers. He said there was no conflict in the studio. People were sleeping. That's why we left. This is also the first time that we find out that it's a 12-hour prepaid studio session, which to me is very important because to me it says Melly went into that studio that day to be there for 12 hours. So now I'm questioning, was this premeditated? Because it was a prepaid 12-hour studio. So his testimony was very crucial, and it allows us to go to that day and go in that studio and see what happened and see how Travion Glass recalled Melly's movements even after the alleged murder.
All right, keep the questions coming to us. And
Even though all studios are prepaid anyway, she did make a good point. I ain't never think about it. And this for 12 hours, it'll get late, let them get sleepy, get them on the road. Crazy world we live in, man. But I think they're gonna go ahead and get his brother the death penalty. I mean, that's the only thing. Like I said, my only doubt is that he didn't do it. Damn, what the hell? Come on now. This young brother done thrown his life away. Melly done thrown his life away. What, they done took down the string? Oh, there you go. No, it's just pause for now. Damn. Everybody trying to take a recess at the same time. But y'all read more onto the what's the name case. The jury deliberated for nearly 19 hours or nearly 9 hours Thursday before handing down a guilty verdict for 19-year-old Timothy. Oh, they actually got to shoot. Oh man, he was running away, man. That's fuck, man. That shit ain't right at all, bro. It's showing the kid running away. So it wasn't even during the fight. Cell phone video presented as evidence showed him fighting with another student, Zach Shelby, in class. After the two were separated, prosecutors said he went and grabbed a gun. Well, he grabbed a gun that he had brought because they said it was on his waist. So it wasn't even during the fight where he shot him. He waited until they broke him up. Get this. Man, I believe in second chances. But he had his second chance, and that's when they broke him up. When they got him off your ass, that was your second chance at life right there. You know what? This fighting stuff ain't for me. Zach, you got the best of me. I don't want nothing else to do with this. Text the group chat, hey, y'all cool and all, but I'm not about to be with the tough guy shit no more. I can't fight. I can't fight. I'm just going to be honest with y'all, and I'm not about to go take boxing lessons. So if you shot this dude after they broke y'all up, where was all the tough guy stuff when he was whooping your ass? Remember, they told us the text messages, shoot first, let them know we ain't playing with them. See, that's what I'm saying. For me, if I'm on a jury, it wouldn't have took much. All you would have had to do is show me this footage here. And as soon as I seen that they were broken up, and then he went and grabbed his gun and got to shooting when this gentleman was running away. Oh yeah, guilty. I don't need to hear nothing from nobody else. Because once they broke it up, you could have just went on about your way. Fought them later, jumped them later. But they broke y'all up. And it's on footage. They broke y'all up. Then you grabbed the gun. Yeah. I would have told the judge as soon as I came in there, as soon as day one, guilty. I'm telling the other jurors straight up, like, man, we don't even need to go to day 15, day 20. I seen it on tape, and this boy is guilty. Now I'm gonna play it real quick, but I'm not gonna let y'all see it. So hold on real quick. Let me just see how brutal it is. Oh, it don't look that bad. Oh yeah, they were whooping his ass. Let me see if I can look. This is the one right here in the white about to get body slammed. Now I can understand if he trying to body slam you and you trying to shoot him down to get him up off you. But if they broke y'all up and you shot him and then you chased him and shot him again, and then we got the text messages, we got the search. How much time would I get if I shoot somebody after they beat me up? Man. He whooping on him. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh yeah, this nigga guilty. This nigga guilty. Shania got low. These kids, bro. My bad, y'all. I had this thing muted the whole time, bro. Hold on.
Witness was summoned to the court.
That's on me.
For more testimony, Dion.
That's on me. I'll just let it play through.
Yeah, that's right. The defense is now putting on its case. And today, new video evidence and also some maneuvering involving an allegation about one witness intimidating another. New cell phone video evidence, a different angle of the View High classroom fight that prompted gunfire.
Did you record the entire fight?
Yes. Former student Charlie Johnson says shooting victim Zacchaeus Selby approached her in the hallway and asked her to record the fight he was about to have with the defendant.
What made you stop?
I stopped when Zacchaeus started stomping on his head.
Why did you stop recording at that moment?
Because it just got too serious.
Who do we see just walk through?
That is Zacchaeus Selby.
Another recording from the school district hallway camera shows Selby going into the classroom. Arlington PD violent crimes investigator Sean Wheatley describes the images of Simpkins running out, firing, then focusing on Selby, who's on the floor.
The defendant, does it appear that he's pointing the gun?
Yes, it does.
Zach's attempting to stand up, but he's stumbling.
Yes.
The fight stopped, and then Timothy pulled out a gun, and then I just ran. I don't know what happened after that.
State's witness, former student Shania McNeely, started out in that classroom. She was watching, even recording the fight. McNeely says within seconds, it went from being amusing to downright frightening. She wound up
Damn, the
hit
teachers
by
got
gunfire.
low.
When I was running, I felt a quick shot. It was really fast. It was just a really fast burn. And then that's when I stopped. But a teacher kept telling me, like, we gotta go, we have to go.
Where were you grazed?
On my side, my left side.
This is the Glock that you were referring to earlier that you found. Yes. And this is the magazine that goes with it. Yes.
The jury got a look at the Glock 45 pistol police recovered. Investigators say Simpkins had it stashed at his sister's apartment. And remember student Charlie Johnson, who says she agreed to record the fight for Selby? She testified about coming dangerously close to being a victim herself.
What happened while you were running?
I felt the bullet go past me, and then that's when the trophy case broke, and then that's when I turned the hallway.
Also today, Zacchaeus Selby, who is also a sworn-in witness, was summoned to the court because defense attorneys say he has been posting news coverage to his social media accounts and sent a message to a witness who says she considered it a threat.
Man,
Now,
stay
court is
off
in
the
recess
internet.
until tomorrow. The judge adjourned early this afternoon because a defense witness was not available today.
Yeah, well, they found him guilty. I don't know if he's going to get attempted or he's going to get capital murder. But it looked like they probably had this little issue going back and forth for a while. Seemed like they were ops because he said, man, shoot first and let them know we ain't playing. Let them know how we coming. Pause. He goes to school with a gun, 2 magazines. He Google searches. If someone beats you up in school and you shoot them, how much time will you get? This nigga playing this out. Like, you got to go ahead. They found him guilty of attempted capital murder. You got to give him the max, man. You got to give him the max for each one of those. He playing this out. He came to school and, man, it's over with, brother. I don't know what to tell you, but we're going to see what they give you, ass.
Data. So if not, that's fine too. But that was a lot of information to process. It comes from Trey Joseph 23 from TikTok. Couldn't the phone have been given back to Melly when Bortlen met back with them at Fredo's?
I mean, anything could have happened. We just don't know what happened. You know, the phone is a big contention here. Who had the phone? Where was the phone? Was it outside? Was it in Melly's house? Was it at Fredo Bang's house? I think that's the problem with this case. We don't know for sure, and everyone has a different interpretation of the phone evidence that is there. But I do think the prosecution did a good job of making sure that we know that the phones are tracking all together. And then also outlining when the phones actually split apart from car to car. Did I get an A? Was that good?
I think you got an A. I think we need to keep in mind, too, there was the text with the pin to Fredo. So if you're sending a pin to Fredo and Fredo's coming to pick you up on Miramar Parkway, then how on earth, you know, that's a lot to think about. How on earth are you sending a pin and then not having your phone? And then finding it back at Fredo's after Cortlen gets there. And then Cortlen had already had all of his stuff taken at the hospital. They took his clothing and everything, and they seized the Jeep. So,
well, I think the timing is also really important because Cortlen got to the hospital at I believe 4:35, and I think the pin came down, and correct me if I'm wrong, at 4:42. So to answer the question, you can't be two places at once. So by the time the pin was sent, Cortlen was already in the hospital.
Hey, and Jeanette, I have a question.
I think
I have a question.
Yes.
How
of course,
far
Michael.
are we really in the not too distant future from saying, you know, there were texts, there were phone calls, somebody dropping a pin. It was AI. You know, there were no texts by any people. There were no phone calls by any people. There were no pins dropped. AI did it. That's who you're looking for.
There's so
AI.
many details to
I don't
this.
think it's really.
They said he sent the ping to get picked up at 4:42 in the morning. But his boy showed up to the hospital without him at 4:45. So in 3 minutes, he got to the hospital. And you dropped your pin to get picked up. And tell me, how did I get life? They didn't go ahead and lock this man up, man. I mean, I don't know. What y'all think? Y'all think he's gonna be guilty? I'm gonna put a poll up, man. You already know how I feel. Damn. Let me see something. Man, did y'all hear about that? So grandma and a grandfather, they just like whooped a baby to death or something like that. Say, what the hell is going on in the world? Can I get there? We're gonna continue without supporting y'all, man. Yeah, it says grandparents from a suburban Chicago have been charged with murder and the beaten death of their 5-year-old granddaughter, who was whipped a dozen times with a belt for defecating on herself, with the granddad allegedly confessing to being a little too rough during the fatal assault. Illinois prosecutors on Monday revealed the horrifying details related to the July 14th killing of 5-year-old Jada Moore. Jada Moore, I gotta ask my mom, do we got any family in Chicago? Telling the court that the girl had been subjected to beatings for more than 2 months, leaving her with severe contusions, most commonly seen in car crash victims. Come on, man. Seen in car crash victims and you're just a little too rough? Give both these motherfuckers life too. The victim's grandparents, Clint Elwood, 62, and his wife, Lisa Jones, 57, from Park Forest, have been arrested and charged with first-degree murder in Jada's death, which the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office has ruled a homicide caused by multiple injuries due to child abuse. The horrific crime came to light when the police and paramedics were dispatched to the couple's home on Osage Street after 11 p.m. Friday for a report of an unresponsive child. So they called the police and said the baby was unresponsive because they were a little too rough. Elwoods was the person who called 911, admitting to the dispatcher, I was beating my little granddaughter and now she is out of it, prosecutor said. Officers found Jada lying on the couch completely nude. And she's a cute little kid too. Five-year-olds died Saturday in the hospital after being whipped with a belt around a dozen times. What the? EMTs performed CPR on the girl before she was airlifted to the corner. No, to Comer's Children's Hospital where she died early Saturday. We don't want questions right now. We about to finish this. The grandfather was quoted as telling the police that he began beating Jada after she soiled her underwear, according to police report. While he was riding in the back of the police cruiser, Elwood allegedly said, unprompted, "I was a little too rough with my grandbaby." When questioned by police, Jones allegedly said, "Oh, this is the grandma." Allegedly said her granddaughter had a history of pooping on herself, and at that last time she had a bathroom accident, grandma warned her that she would whip her with a belt if she were to soil herself again. Man, she couldn't control that. Yeah, she's 5, but maybe she had something wrong with her. Like, come on, man, it's a kid. The grandfather allegedly made good on his threat when he discovered Friday night that the 5-year-old had yet again gone to the bathroom on herself. They then reminded Jada what he would do if she defecated on herself again, the report stated. Elwoods then grabbed the belt and had Jada bend over. Elwoods then proceeded to strike her on her buttocks 10 to 12 times. With each blow, the child fell on the floor. Her grandmother was quoted as saying, so the grandma told him this? The last time she was struck, the 5-year-old did not get back up. A search of the house turned up a pair of soiled children's underwear, a belt, a notarized letter from the mom giving the grandparents custody for school and medical decisions, and a calendar with 4 dates marking the month of June, allegedly indicating Jada had previously defecated on herself. So she defecated on herself 4 times. In June, the mom left a note and saying that. Prosecutors said in court that both grandparents allegedly admitted to beating Jada on a regular basis with a belt, their bare hands, and a shoe. What the? An autopsy found that the little girl was covered from head to toe in bruises, abrasions, and scars, various stages of healing. Hey, these two, they got to get whatever the worst sentence you can get up in Chicago. That's what they need to be getting. She also had what is known as an internal avulsion or contusion, pockets in her back, buttocks, and legs. These pockets are commonly seen in car accident incidents due to the force required to cause it. Oh my God. These were indications of a victim losing blood into the soft tissue and more dangerous in children due to their overall lower volume of blood. Additionally, Jada had bleeding in the space between her brain and skull, pointing to a brain injury. Damn. The beatings had started just a month into Jada's stay with her grandparents, who had taken her in back early April, promising to get a 5-year-old a better home life after her mother, who lives in Atlanta, had fallen on hard times. So the mom's living in Atlanta. She's on hard times. Basically signed over all her parental rights, custodial rights to her daughter, to her grandparents, while she stayed in Atlanta. And within a month, they were beating this child because the child was using the bathroom on herself. And the mom left a calendar. Like, if it's that consistent, and the child's 5 years old, like Tamika said, you got to take this baby to the doctor. It might be something wrong with the girl. But instead, they beat this child to death. Man, it's a sick world. And if that trial ain't coming back on, we're going to find out who her mother is and what she was doing down in Atlanta. So Jada was living in Atlanta, left Atlanta, came back, supposed to have a better life. Damn. Well, we'll keep a close eye on this case here and see what these grandparents get. Chicago grandparents beat 5-year-old girl to death with a belt for swelling herself. Yeah. It's a sick world. Of course, right when we get back over here, they going back. Damn. Let me update y'all on that boy Travis King. I don't think they getting that dude back. And where's the outrage at, y'all? Where's the outrage for Travis King? A true, well, I won't call him an American hero because he's not one of those. But remember when Brittany Griner voluntarily went to Russia and had that dro on her, and everybody's like, "I get her back." Where's everybody at? Where's everybody at trying to get Travis back? Now, I mean, yeah, get him back because he's an American, but this would be one time if he gets back to the States. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know what'd be worse for him. Because they about to have his ass working over here in these camps over in North Korea. They about to have his ass working. And if he comes back to America, you going to jail, nigga. You defected from your country. You going to jail. And you in the military. Oh, yeah, they're going to probably hit you with at least a 25 piece, a 30 piece. But they said that he was they said his ass was getting in trouble, man. He went to jail in South Korea. They said he tore up a police car. He ain't never paid a fine.
Private Travis King and the U.S. military on Wednesday was still scrambling to determine what happened to him after he apparently, without authorization, crossed a heavily guarded border into North Korea the day before.
Someone ran close to me very fast, and I thought, what is going on? I didn't think anyone who was sane would want to go to North Korea, so I assumed it was some kind of stunt.
Sarah Leslie was on a civilian tour of the border between North and South Korea with King when he took off.
It all happened pretty quickly. I probably only saw him running for like a few seconds, and that's all it would have taken to get across the border. And then, a couple of seconds after I saw him, that's when the soldiers shouted and started running after him.
The military said it believes King is in North Korean custody, though Pyongyang state media has made no mention of him. North Korea's mission to the United Nations in New York did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Sources tell Reuters King was based in South Korea and had been accused of assault and damaging a police car. He pleaded guilty, had finished serving military detention, and had been taken to the airport to return to the United States. But then he fled. and soon after ended up on the civilian border tour. He was due to face disciplinary action by the U.S. military, though it was unclear if this was related to his earlier troubles.
A lot of people are shocked to hear that I have children, considering I soon might.
Hey, we don't give a fuck about your kids. Get out of here. So I didn't know that part of the story. Like, I haven't really read up on it. So I didn't know they were sending him back to the States. They were basically probably about to kick him out the military. So they were sending him back to the States because he paid the fine, he did his time. Yeah, they were getting him out. Like, you can't be overseas no more. So they were trying to send him back. But instead of getting on that flight, this fool went and got in the DMZ. I guess it's a little tourist, like, hey, we're gonna go to the border right here. Yeah, let's take a tour. This nigga got into a civilian tourist group, went over there, they were taking pictures, and he said, man, you know what? I'm about to run. He got over North Korea on his ass now. Oh, yeah, it's about to be horrible over there. You already know they whooping his ass. Kim Jong-un don't even speak about it. He don't even care. It's like, man, we ain't gonna do nothing but hold him for a little bit. Speculation continues to mount. Oh, they ain't even back in the trial. So speculation continues to mount over the fate of American soldier Travis King after he fled into North Korea territory early this week, with the U.S. revealing the Hermit Kingdom has gone silent about his well-being and fate. From being used as a propaganda tool to being propped up as a potential bargaining chip, the guesses about North Korea's next step vary widely, given there's little precedent for the King situation. Experts and former diplomats say, yeah, like they North Korea ain't getting nothing out of this criminal. This nigga was arrested for tearing up shit in South Korea. Yeah, of course, the America, they gotta try to at least, you know what I'm saying, put it out there. Hey, can we get him back? But no one's gonna care about this nigga Travis. Travis about to be there for at least a year, two. I don't know. He might get hit with a 5-year. He might not make it out of North Korea, to be honest with you. And if he does, shit, everybody that has been released, they be ending up dead, sick. They have the North Korean guards there at the border that separate North and South. Oh, yeah, my dog Trill, he be over in Korea. Hey, he's done. Hey, Trill, what you think they're going to do with him? I'm saying if he gets back to America, what you think they're going to do? They got to get this nigga at least 15 years, for real, for real. First of all, you went AWOL, so they already about to hit you with that. I don't know if y'all know, but like in the military, meetings, they're very important. So you can't miss them because you'll get disciplinary action for it. Missing a flight to go back to the States because they were getting rid of you. Oh, yeah, they on your head. Now they just stacking up charges on you. See, the UMCJ, it's a little bit different. When you go in there and you fighting them articles, it's way different than like you going out here because 9.9, like, 9.9 times in the military, when they take your ass to jail to a court martial, you're done. You're done. Because guess what? Your jury ain't your peers. Your jury is everybody above you. Everyone ranked above you, an officer. It ain't your peers in the military. So when you go in there beating one of them cases, it's tough, especially as a black person. Let me tell you something. They on your ass, Travis. You 23 years old, we gonna see you in another 23 when North Korea either lets you go or shit. I don't think they gonna let him go, but this is the worst thing. Yeah, like Trill said, this is the worst thing you could do. Other than killing somebody, this is the worst thing you could do right here. Running to the border. He's supposed to be back in the States. Oh well. All right. That is true. North Korea is likely to milk the border crossing for propaganda purposes, especially given that King voluntarily entered the country. Basically, what they saying is they about to say, see, people, they like it over here better than they do in South Korea, better than they do it, better than they do it in America. Damn, Travis, you done set us back. Your cousin Carlisle Russell done set us back. Y'all niggas is fucking it up for us good people. And the only reason I'm talking like this is because, you know, he did this shit. Like, it wasn't nobody hurting this but him. Dog, come on, man. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. How long King remains there will likely depend on whether North Korea finds a way to spin his story, according to some analysts. If they if they decide he's not a good story, they may return him so that he doesn't mess up the relationships that they got with the United States. Basically saying, look, if the U.S. don't really care about him, which they say they do. I mean, of course they do, because it looks bad around the world that they couldn't get a military member back. But man, they ain't about to be doing nothing. They not about to have the same pressure on them to get him like they did for Brittany Griner. Like, even though they both voluntarily did this stuff, like Brittany Griner voluntarily took weed, well, CBD oil. Like, you voluntarily took it over there. You know you wasn't supposed to do that. He voluntarily ran across the border. You know you're not supposed to do that. What I don't know, man. Maybe he thought he could get over there and like they'll treat him good once he gets there. Like, he'll be like the Dennis Rodman of his era. Like, no, Travis. This is largely a wait and see, and there's no little president to this. I mean, oh yeah, he was done. Yeah, I was right. So they were talking about kicking him out, facing disciplinary action and possible discharge after serving 2 months in South Korea prison on assault charges. First of all, he's already in jail. He served 2 months in a 2 months in a Korean jail. Yeah, you're done. They're not keeping you in the military. They should have had somebody escorting him. He should have never been on his own anyway. So Pyongyang said they could demand the U.S. scale back its military activities in South Korea in exchange for King's release. Man, King, you're done. They not about to exchange you to fall back, man. All that, man, all that they invested in Korea, man, they ain't about to be damn give us King and we'll step back. Hell no. But this is him right here. Right here. Oh well, man. Y'all think he's gonna get out? Y'all think we're gonna get him back? Or they just gonna keep his ass over there for a little bit? Because he's done.
They're just basically putting everything out there, and anything that they have. So I don't think they're relying too much on witness statements. I think they have a plethora of evidence, and it's all different. You have medical examiners, you have people talking about cell phone data, you have the recreation of the actual car, and then you have an eyewitness. And then you have the lead detective. So I think they have a variety of different things that they've presented in order to try to, secure their guilty verdict.
Mm-hmm. Reba 05 from Twitter. I think we've heard from Reba before as well. If the jury is asking about non-witnesses, could that result in a mistrial? I think she means, Terry, the fact that they asked about the name mixed up. Probably a mix-up of names, but if the non-witness has a connection to Melly and the person was not mentioned during the trial, then it seems a juror may have been doing the outside research. So could this whole name mix-up thing cause a mistrial?
What up,
I don't think
LT?
it could cause a mistrial here because it seems fairly definitive that the name that they came up with, this Sutherland, this Cortlen Sutherland, was not a real person. So I don't think anybody was doing any research. No one got some other names from the outside. They came back and said, oh, we meant, Cortlen Henry, Cortlen Bortlen Henry. So they just basically got the name wrong. And just getting the name wrong isn't a reason for a mistrial. It was clarified. That's the purpose of having these questions. You don't hear everything all the time. Even with 12 people deliberating, not everybody gets everything. So the system allows them to ask questions, and then the judge will talk to the attorneys and they'll figure out what the answer should be. So I don't think in this instance getting that name wrong means anything at all, except somebody didn't hear, or many people didn't hear exactly what it was. So no mistrial for that.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to another question here. We got a lot of really good ones coming in. Chosen one.
Good question. Come on now. One good question. They need to put me on the panel. I'll start answering the questions the right way. I'm going to give y'all the details that you need. Now, I can't give you any legal information. I can't advise you on anything.
From YouTube. Why were the messages stating they killed all of them already and the picture was a target over his face never investigated? Could lead to the shooter. So Chosen One, Michael, is asking about messages stating they killed them in the picture with the target over his face. They had talked about
Council, after we went to lunch, I received one message from the jury signed by the foreperson, and it basically is the boxes checked, requested view evidence, Heisen rescind previous request. It was on stage, jurors who requested to, wanted to hear the testimony of Michael Kelly, have rescinded their request. We apologize for any inconvenience, so they don't need to read back to Mr. Kelly what they're telling us. Second thing is,
man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm sitting in there.
Dale was in there, I guess, trying to get them lunch or something like that, bring them a lunch. He received from not the foreperson, but a short note. It was folded up. That's right. And it was folded up. It was passed to him, and it says, "Are we allowed to have Apple Watches? Someone has one." It's not signed or anything, but that was the message that was passed to me. And that's why I have the message. I try to get everybody to come back to just talk about it.
Just a little side story. So somebody had an Apple Watch, and one of the jurors told and said, "Hey, are we supposed to have Apple Watches?" My dog, why he moved in here? Me and him were taking a class in Germany together. We were taking a test, right? I'm in the back quarter, and he like to roll in front of me. This white lady turned around and seen him. It was supposed to be a closed book test. This nigga had his book open, right? So we taking the test. The white lady turns around and sees him with the book, raises her hand. He's like, "Yeah." She said, "Are we supposed to have our books?" He said, "No, why?" She said, "Well, someone has it." Everybody looked back and we seen this nigga Trill with the box. Got his ass. That ain't on me, OT. That's on this YouTube being chopping. I can't hear it either.
Defendant, this counsel, the assistant state attorney. So what I was sharing with you regarding the message that Gary advised me was that yesterday when we started, sent the jury to deliberations, Gary
Come on, YouTube.
message here from the jury, another message. And it says, what if we can't come to a decision, question mark, everyone is stuck on which side they've chosen. Signed by the foreperson.
Man, look at this.
So,
my screen. Come on, YouTube.
I think we're prepared to the extent that the court is. I think we're prepared to offer our responses. That's okay. The first would be the Apple Watch. Okay.
The individual juror.
Individual juror Apple.
Come on, man.
As far as that is concerned, my understanding.
Every time we try to be positive and do something on this damn YouTube, man, they all
Understanding of how Apple Watch works, at least how mine works, is that there has to be some proximity.
guilty. I guess right now they're trying to explain to the judge why the Apple Watch isn't important because it don't work next to the unless it's close to the phone. Let me see something.
Has the Apple Watch and the speaker in the room. We don't know whether there have been any other violations, perhaps someone looking up something online, unless we inquire further.
Thank you. You all done anything?
Well, two things, Your Honor. One, the
Yeah, man, look at this shit, bro. They still trying to figure out how the ping go, how the Apple Watch didn't pick up. He's trying to say, look, stop talking about that Apple Watch.
the person in passing up that note did abide by the court's instruction that Ms. Smith just referred to, but it doesn't say necessarily to bring them out and single them out and expose them as a snitch. And
Come on, bro.
This is my thought, respectfully. I just bring the jury in as a group. Just let them know I have a message. This is, are we allowed to have Apple Watches? Someone has one. I don't know if this, when it's,
Like the whole internet in the house is messing up now. Come on.
talking about this. What he did to the Gary. One of the jurors does have an Apple Watch, but it was taken away, or not taken away, but they presented to Gary when he asked for it the other day before the jury.
Yeah, see, that's them. Even the people in the chat over here talking about the audio sucks.
Deliberations. He goes in and just retrieves all the phones and electronic devices, and they present it to him. So maybe that.
Let me see if I got something.
And I'll ask again, I'll ask somebody else to watch on them now or anything like that, a small watch. and just see what the response is. If they say, nobody responds to it, there's no smartwatch, then we'll take the next step and we'll see where we go from there. But I'm going to ask the jury also if anybody has a watch.
Your Honor, with respect to that, the only suggestion that I would make would be for the.
Yeah, like I said, they ain't talking about nothing in this one. This is just them trying to argue the Apple Watch and being in the courtroom with it. Let's see what the lawyers had to say against each other.
Straight ahead on Law and Crime Daily. After weeks and weeks of testimony, the jury will finally have the chance to talk about the case against YNW Melly. It'll be up to 12 people to decide if the rapper killed two of his best friends or if he should walk free. We're taking you through the closing arguments from both sides.
Someone who is in that rear seat is the person who committed this murder. And so now the question is who? So I'm going to show you now why the state has proven who was Jamell Demons.
You folks are going to determine this young man's fate. And they come in here and give you alternatives.
Law and Crime Daily, covering court cases from coast to coast.
What up, Eric?
Welcome, everybody, to Law and Crime Daily. I'm Jesse Weber. The jury officially has the YNW Melly murder case, and the deliberations have begun. On Thursday, the attorneys on both sides had their last chance to argue the rapper's guilt or innocence. Melly, whose real name is Jamell Demons, is accused of killing two of his closest friends. The deadly shooting happened inside of an SUV in the Fort Lauderdale area of South Florida in 2018. He was seen on surveillance getting into a Jeep with Cortlen Henry, Christopher Thomas, and Anthony Williams, as other friends got into a red Mitsubishi. Now, at some point during the drive to Demons' home, the defendant says he got out of the Jeep and into that Mitsubishi. And not long after that, Henry showed up at a hospital with Thomas and Williams bleeding in the car. They were both pronounced dead. Henry told investigators that there was a drive-by shooting, but police say they determined the deadly shots were fired from inside the car. They charged both Demons and Henry with murder, claiming Demons was the shooter in the back seat. Demons could face the death penalty if he's convicted. The prosecution gave their closing argument first. Prosecutor Christine Bradley used her time to remind jurors of the evidence against Demons with a focus on forensics.
The law is clear that this defendant committed 2 counts of first-degree murder. I now have the opportunity to explain all of the evidence. This chemical reacts no matter how many years later, no matter what attempt at cleanup is done. The chemical is still going to react to the presence of the blood. So then you have that reaction.
Yeah, he's
And
good.
that reaction, ladies and gentlemen, tells you
Overeating.
that someone is sitting in this seat. Because, as Detective Williams illustrated, it's where the blue star isn't. So there is no blood. There's no blood where someone's would have been sitting. There's no blood where their legs would have been, and you can see on the V that's indicated on that. And there's no blood on the back of the seat. So, ladies and gentlemen, what does that tell you? The killer was sitting there. That the red Mitsubishi didn't stop. That the 30 minutes and 30 miles are consistent with one another.
How many miles?
That there was no stopping. The red Mitsubishi didn't stop. That the 30 minutes and 30 miles are consistent with one another. That there was no stopping on the side of the road. And also, there's no reason. There is no reason that's put before this jury whatsoever. Not in the phone records, not in the Snapchat, nothing that explains why 8 people that are going to the exact same location would stop on the side of the road. Just one person would switch a car. No reason whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a confession in this case. 4 p.m.
See, after hearing that, and then they proved that he was in the vehicle. They showed us the footage of him getting in the vehicle. but he doesn't pull up with them to the hospital and there's no reason for them to stop. I'm looking at my other 11, my 11 disciples, and I'm looking at them like, hey, do the right thing here, man. This nigga's guilty. He did that. That boy did that, man. It ain't no game when you get in that courtroom. It's all fun and games when you sending these text messages. Yeah, when you get in that courtroom and that judge, he ain't even looking at you. You know, they be trying to say, he ain't show me no respect. You want to look me in the eye. Nigga, they not looking you in the eye. they looking at the paper on their desk and reading off numbers, nigga. Okay, we can give him 14 for this. Just in case they say he's guilty. I'm gonna do 14. I'm gonna do 7 on top of that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this 23, and that number look nice. Jordan. Oh, LeBron just switched back to it. Yeah, we gotta put the 23 on his ass. Pause. You said he did what else? Oh, we can get him with like a little 2-year. I'm gonna give him the max on that. Yeah, man, they don't care about that.
I did that.
And the crazy thing about a judge and the jury, they got to do their job. And their job is to decide whether you live or not. Their job for the day is coming in here and deciding whether they want you to live outside or inside. That's their job. Think it's a game.
With the smiley face. Ladies and gentlemen, I would ask that you serve justice, that you deliberate, and that you return a verdict of guilty as charged as to murder in the first degree.
All right, let's talk about it. I'm joined right now by my co-host, defense attorney Brian Buckmeyer, and
judge
our special guest, former federal
behind
prosecutor Nima Rahmani. Great to have you both here. Nima, I'll start with you. You were a prosecutor. What did you think of Christine Bradley's closing?
Jesse, I got to be honest, I was a bit underwhelmed. I expected more. It was a strong case, you know, and I think the defense did a good job in their summation. You know, as a prosecutor in rebuttal, I like to sandbag a little bit, keep some of my best points. And I think the mistakes that were made here is she needed to pound the confession, pound that cell phone evidence. I think she was on the defensive, spent too much time trying to explain away some of the questions that the defense raised in their closing. So, you know, talk about the victims, talk about the evidence, and again, hammer that point home. I think really she ended with a little bit of a whimper as opposed to a bang there.
Well, Nima is not convinced, Brian, but let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say, you know, they focused on some key points like bullet trajectory, the alleged confession. For the defense, what do they have to do to combat what the prosecution put forward?
The defense has to come in and poke holes where they've already established that there are potential holes in the case. Attack the investigation. Attack the investigation in a way that says they could have done more. And if they had done more, then they would have more answers. And the lack of answers equals reasonable doubt. Continue down that pathway. Go through each one of the questions. Myself, though, I would also attack some of the math here. Yes, that outline shows that someone is there. Great, but you don't have no idea whether or not they stopped. I mean, you and I were talking just quickly. 30 miles in 30 minutes. So you think they're going 60 miles an hour then? You think they're driving the speed limit? Maybe they stopped for a second and then kept speeding on. That's easy to kind of combat. Don't open yourself up to arguments like that.
Well, let's see if they listen to your advice or, you know, after the fact, because we have a lot more to cover after this break, including what the defense had to say in their closing arguments.
Which would have put the phone back in their hands.
We want to bring you part of Thursday's Q&A session where we take your viewer questions. Correspondent Terry Austin has been inside the courtroom for all of the action and answered a question from a YouTube viewer.
So let's get to our next question. Latasha Gaffney from YouTube. The prosecutor said Melly didn't want to leave any witness behind. So why didn't he kill Cortlen Henry? Do you think the jury is going to ask the same question? Do you think they caught that part? So I will send that one over to you, Terry.
Take us home, Terry.
So I think what the prosecution is trying to say as far as that is concerned is Melly wanted the other two, Juvy and Sakchaser, gone because he didn't want to split up the money with them, but he felt as though Henry had his back. That was one of the messages she read to the jury during her closing argument. So I'm assuming that her theory here is he left Henry alive because he was more of an asset than the others. Now, if you believe her motive for these is, the greed, the resentment, then she's saying that he did not have, Melly, the defendant, did not have any greed or resentment or any of those things as far as Henry was concerned. So that's why he allowed him to live, according to the prosecution.
Yeah, Eric, it has been kind of back and forth. I mean, the defense is doing a good job, and that's one thing you got to respect about them. They not giving up, even if they think this dude is guilty. The defense is still doing everything that they supposed to be doing. They they cashing in, they collecting a check, but they doing their job. Everything she came up with, they were combating it, but shit. The cell phones, Mellies. He was in that position, pause, in the vehicle. I mean, the stage drive-by shooting, none of the bullets went through like the window. All of it was just in the door. But they died with wounds on the other side. Like, come on, man. We gonna see.
And welcome back, everybody. So the jury started deliberations Thursday afternoon in the case of rapper YNW Melly, whose real name is Jamell Demons. He's charged with 2 counts of murder after his 2 friends were shot and killed in South Florida 5 years ago. In our last segment, we talked about some of the biggest moments from the prosecution's closing argument. Demons' defense team only spent about an hour delivering their closing argument and made sure to point out all the problems with the state's case.
How does a reasonable doubt occur? Well, the judge told you. It can come from the evidence itself, a conflict in the evidence, or a lack of evidence. You don't need all 3 of these areas. But I suggest to you folks that we have a reasonable doubt from the evidence that has been presented, that there is a conflict in the evidence, and there's a lack of evidence. October 26th, that day of the shooting, we learned immediately that that Jeep was taken to a secure area. And it was searched for over 15 hours by 2 crime scene technicians. And you heard how they pulled out the evidence, some foam, some projectiles, I think a can, everything, and photographed the vehicle. Now, why is that important? That vehicle was searched again months later. But it didn't stop there, because about 3 years later, miraculously, even though it was searched for hours by crime scene technicians, Sergeant Williams comes into the scene at the request of the state of Florida, this particular prosecutor right here. And miraculously, he finds additional evidence, 2 projectiles and a bloodstain that obviously everyone else missed. That should tell you something about the quality of this investigation. They told you that they have accepted the responsibility, that they have the burden of proof. They told you that they would prove each element of this case. What they have proved to you is
What's up, Tracy?
that Cortlen Henry is involved in this case.
And that's what I want to focus on. So Nima, Stuart Edelston pointed multiple times toward Cortlen Henry as the real culprit. You think that's a good strategy?
Damn.
I think it's a great strategy, Jesse, and we knew this is something that was going to happen. Obviously, the defense, they always like to point the finger at someone else. And when you have a co-defendant, who better person than that? So that's why defendants like to sever these trials, because the defenses tend to be inconsistent. So if you're the prosecution, you have to anticipate this coming, and you got to tell the jurors, listen, even if we don't know who pulled the trigger, whether it was Melly or Henry, it doesn't matter. At least for the guilt phase. Maybe it does for the penalty, but you're an accomplice, you're a co-conspirator, you're responsible for the murder. So I wish the state spent a lot more time on that, because again, it's something that I think is very important and something that they should have anticipated.
And talking about the state, Brian, we know that the prosecution actually responded to the defense's closing argument and a real quick rebuttal argument. They also, I was curious what your thoughts are on what points they made, if you thought it was effective, and also, can the jury consider manslaughter?
Yeah. So overall, I wasn't too impressed with the prosecution's rebuttal, and I'll say it like this. As a defense attorney, the one thing that I'm really jealous about for prosecutors, they get the final word. And I feel like she had that opportunity to really come back and smack down a lot of the arguments that the defense put out, but it seemed weak at point. It seemed just a rehashing of what she had already said, rather than dismantling what the defense was arguing. And then to the manslaughter part, we all kind of was like, what's going on here? Because the judge gave them the lesser included manslaughter charge, which the prosecution had argued for. Then in the middle of her closing argument in the rebuttal, she says, this is what manslaughter means. Basically an act that someone takes on or perpetrates and it just causes someone's death. There's no real premeditation there. But she said, this is not manslaughter. She totally threw away the lesser included that she had won there and then just kept moving with her argument. It was bizarre.
She's going for all or nothing with the murder. And I mean, man.
Damn. I ain't even think about that. Like the prosecutor still could have just said, because if they trying to blame it on what's the boy name, Cortlen? Shit, the prosecutor said, even if Cortlen did do it, you were there, so you a co-conspirator. You were supposed to report those murders. Like, damn, you could have still got him that way too. But I guess she's just going for straight murder. All right, we gonna see how this go. We'll see how this go, but I definitely didn't think of that. That was a cool.
Manslaughter would be interesting. It would mean like something happened in that car that caused him to do that, which would be very.
So the only way they can get the manslaughter is if something happened in the car. Pay to watch. Yeah, y'all tripping. Y'all out y'all mind. Look at the shit. He ain't trying to be here, bro. This case was good in the beginning. He's like, man, this end part, I ain't really feeling it. He got that gavel ready, though. It's either guilty, not guilty. You ready, man. You know, judges, they be working out. They be in the, saying in the kitchen with the skillet. Got to get that wrist game right, because that gavel ain't no joke. That's the last word in that court. I could be a bailiff, not a police officer.
For that explanation, was that Thomas?
Hold on.
No, I see it in Thomas. I mean, I see it in Young. That's in Thomas as well. It's the same issue. Okay. So yes, Your Honor, the Thomas case that the state cited was Thomas v. State, 748 Southern 2nd, 970. It's a 1999 case, Supreme Court of Florida. And that also cites to a state, Young v. State, which is 711 Southern 2nd, 1379, a 1998 case out of the 2nd District Court of Appeals. And the state has represented the issue that Thomas addressed. I'd like to just read some language here from Young that indicates that Young was treating the same issue. In the very second paragraph of the opinion, it says, the jury began its deliberations in this case near 5 p.m. on the second day of trial. At or near 9 p.m., it informed the court, quote, as a group, we cannot agree on a verdict, end quote. The trial judge made the decision to give the jury an Allen charge. It is proper for the trial judge in a criminal case to give the standard Allen charge where it appears the jury is deadlocked. The trial judge also decided, however, that he did not want in this trial that night and would bring the jury back the next morning. So it's the same issue, which is we're going to give you an Allen charge, but it's not going to be effective because if you still can't reach the verdict, we're going to bring you back tomorrow. So it's the same issue in Thomas, and we think that's different from the notion that a Allen charge cannot be modified at all to suit the circumstances of a particular case. Here, I don't think there is any need to tell them about the law because nothing they've said implies the law. And we also think that it invades the province of the jury to tell them that they should each get up one at a time and explain the weaknesses of their position. That is not only counterintuitive to an advocate, and they're advocates for their respective positions. It's counterintuitive to an advocate, and I think it's an unconstitutional invasion of the province of the jury. They should conduct their deliberations and discharge their constitutional function as fact finders without our interference. So we object.
State, anything else? So let me ask you this, how do you want me to, my thought is, I'm going to handle this question first about who's got a cell phone, if anyone. I'll ask them that as a group, and then I'll read the second inquiry form as what if we can't come to a decision, and then I'll read the jury deadline. I understand the defense's objection to it. The instruction's been around for over 40 years. Stood the test of time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm not going to modify it.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd just like to read this before the court. I understand the court has made its decision, but Mr. Adelstein brought something to my attention out of the Thomas case, which is a Supreme Court case. And it says, as noted, every Allen charge issue must be decided upon the particular facts and circumstances surrounding an individual case. So that goes to the issue of individuality and whether or not it should be tailored to the circumstances of a particular case. And we're taking a position that mirrors what the Supreme Court has declared, right now, that modification of Allen charges is not foreign. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court has directed that it should be tailored to the circumstances surrounding the individual case. So that we maintain our objection.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So you want to bring the jury in?
Yes, sir.
John J. Murphy III. Just coming in here every day listening to the same thing over and over and over. Like, I wonder what the judge's break is in between. Like, he'll have his trial. Do we get like a week off? And then he pick up the next trial, you know what I mean? Like, or is right after this when you just roll into another trial like it's another day. They block off my schedule for 3 weeks. I got this one trial going on. And I'm gonna take a week off, and then I get the next month. I do the next 4 weeks. I got y'all. You know what I mean?
Jurors entry.
But you don't see them laughing. You don't see them blowing kisses. You don't see them doing none of that now. It was all fun and games in the beginning, but there's always that thought of, damn, they got me. You know what I mean? He ain't doing all that playing around. It ain't no smiles. These two ain't joking no more. Remember, they were laughing it up. We used to see them in court laughing it up.
Counsel, assistant attorney, and the ladies and gentlemen jury. Let me show two things. First, I received a note, or my bailiff did. It's not signed by a foreperson, but it's a note that was handed to him. It says, are we allowed to have Apple Watches? Someone has one from one of the members of the jury. As I tried to explain to you earlier, all the electronic devices are basically, we're not allowed to have those in the jury room. So we asked our bailiff, Gary, to try to collect them. Does anyone have an Apple Watch? Yes or no? In their possession? I asked the question. Does anyone have one? No. I see everybody raising their hands or several waving their hands, showing they don't. There's no Apple Watches. Thank you. The second thing I want to do is, based on, I received this juror inquiry form that is signed by the foreperson that reads as follows. State of Florida versus Jamell Demons, case number 19-00-1872 CF10A. Check the box, ask the following question. What if we can't come to a decision? Everyone is stuck on which side they've chosen, signed by the foreperson. All right? So what I'd like to tell you, or read to you, is an instruction. It's called Jury Deadlock 4.1. And it reads as follows. I know that all of you have worked hard to try to find a verdict in this case. It apparently has been impossible for you so far. Sometimes an early vote before discussion can make it hard to reach an agreement about the case later. The vote, not the discussion, might make it hard to see all sides of the case. We are all aware that it's legally permissible for a jury to disagree. There are two things a jury can lawfully do: agree on a verdict or disagree on the facts of the case. Excuse me. There are two things that a jury can lawfully do: agree on a verdict or disagree on what the facts of the case may truly be. There is nothing to disagree about on the law. The law is as I told you. If you have any disagreements about the law, I should clear them up for you now. That should be my problem, not yours. If you disagree over what you believe the evidence showed, then only you can resolve that conflict, if it is to be resolved. I have only one request of you. By law, I cannot demand this of you, but I want you to go back to the jury room, then taking turns, tell each of the other jurors about any weaknesses of your own position. You should not interrupt each other or comment on each other's views until each of you have had a chance to talk. After you have done that, if you simply cannot reach a verdict, then return to the courtroom and I will declare this case mistried and will discharge you with my sincere appreciation for your services. Ladies and gentlemen, you may now retire to continue with your deliberations.
They said they locked right now. I mean, it's only been 6 hours, but they said they locked right now. If everybody get up and start telling their weaknesses, it might be like, oh, well, you right. Damn, okay, you good. I mean, this is a good thing. It's always 50-50 in this thing, man. You never know.
Step down, Council may roll the defendant. We'll be in recess.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know, man. I don't know. If they said they stomped down, now they got to go around and everybody talk. Hey guys, I'm juror number 14. I know. I'm just a fill-in. But one of the weaknesses I've seen was, man, they said that phone wasn't his. Shit. Then again, is that really a weakness because they proved that the phone was his? I don't know, man. It does seem like he might get off, man. The prosecutor kind of trash. I don't know, man. She just ain't getting it like she's supposed to be getting it, I guess. Me, I think he's guilty, but I think they're gonna get him off. I can't tell, man, to be honest with you. Let me see what they got. Oh, yeah, she is like Jenny Sullivan. Man, you out here, you the head prosecutor. All right, let's go. Let's get it. It should be opening, open and close case. Getting in there. She messing up. She ain't getting nothing, man. Come on, man. What the hell that I got on here? We might be here for a while. What is this? It was already 2 hours on this. I'm probably gonna jump back on here. We will have a live tonight. What was that movie we was watching? Oh yeah, Red Flags 2. So back on my main channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll have Red Flags 2. Sunday, I'm gonna do They Clone Tyrone. And if they do get the verdict, I'll hop back on here and we'll try to figure it out. Cause it look like they're gonna be working for a while. Now they gotta all stand up and tell the weaknesses in the trial. Oh, I'm gonna be here all night. They better do like Cole and Martin. Remember when they went to trial? They were in there on jury duty. They were the jurors. They went in the back, and Cole, he ordered up all that damn food. That was, hey, shit, we about to, hey, try and get. I mean, we might as well order some food. We're gonna be in here all night. We in here 6 hours already. All of us going around and talking about our weaknesses. It's not gonna be a one sentence. You know what I mean? And then after that, we still got to dissect each other's weakness. Like, all right, what you said the weakness was? Damn, for real. All right, let me look at my shit. All right, what I got going on over here? Oh yeah, we gotta get some food. We gotta get some dessert. Shit, we gonna be here all night, y'all. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know. What y'all think? He's innocent or guilty? Damn. Oh well. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Everybody hit that like button. I'm gonna hop off here, give me something to eat. 9 p.m. Eastern, Red Flags 2. We're gonna watch that. Check out Bird Box Barcelona. I might do a review on that. But they clone Tyrone Sunday. We'll have a recap for that. Well, basically just like a live review recap. I wish we could watch that on there. All right, they saying innocent, guilty. I don't know, man. If I wake up in the morning, got murder on my mind. AK-47s, Mac 11s, Glocks and 9s. And all these niggas hating, trying to knock me off my grind. I don't know, man. They're gonna probably say he's innocent, man. He's innocent. He's innocent. We're gonna find out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see y'all later on tonight on the main channel.